Cool. Well, it is a blessing to be up here and to be speaking on this topic, guys. First off, I just want to thank everyone here for making today's event as painless as possible. There was a lot that had to be done to organize this. I don't think it could have came out any better than it did. I'd love to hear feedback, but thank you for bearing with us at the door with tickets, playbooks. I think you guys are really excited for what's next, and having the playbooks by the time you guys leave. So thank you for that. This is something that I've become extremely passionate about over the last few weeks. I can go into the whole story, but I don't want to waste time. Basically, I had come home from a trip, and I went to Luke, and I knew there was something missing. We've seen a lot of success in a fairly short period of time, but there was something we were missing, and I expressed that to him. And we tried to start to figure it out, and one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. We're sitting over dinner, and all of a sudden the light bulb goes off, and we're like, I think we found the missing piece. What does every massive company in our space have that we don't? What have the most successful people in network marketing done? What have they done that we've not yet done? Right? And we came to the conclusion that our philosophy was a little bit off and started tweaking it. And this is what we came up with. We had a call. This is a few weeks back. Luke and I hosted a call on the philosophy, our new philosophy for the Elite Network. And I can't tell you how many texts I got from people that were just like, I am so in line with that. That just completely opened my eyes. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I couldn't be more excited for what the future holds. These guys on the panel did an incredible job. They've shared for you what they're excited to implement this. It's going to take time, but once it's done, we'll all see results that we never even thought were possible. So I'm going to get into this, guys, and then we're going to be introducing some top guys to end this out today. But basically the first thing on philosophy, guys, we came to the realization that in order to have a sustainable business, you first must need a sustainable life. Does that make sense? In other words, if you don't have sustainability in your life, structure in your life, how in the world do you expect to build a business that's sustainable and has structure? It's impossible. And so we felt like there were too many people that maybe had rushed into this without thinking about it, and then all of a sudden they've got all kinds of things going on in their life that things coming at them from every different direction that they can't even figure out how to create sustainability in a business. No one in this room wants to make $100,000. Well, you might, but I'd rather make it and sustain it year after year after year after year, and a lot of people weren't preparing themselves for that, right? So to attract people that have structure, that have sustainability in their lives, you must first become that. You must first, implement that on your own. Meaning, do you have a consistent network, or a network that you can consistently share the products and the plan with, right? Do you have a part-time source of income that can fund your part-time business expense when you get started? Because if you don't have that structure in your life, you can never create it in your business. And your business, more importantly, the people you bring into the business, won't create sustainability for either you or them and their income. So, going off of that, guys, I think this is really, really big. I think Taylor may have mentioned it up here a second ago. You have to create a realistic expectation for yourself and for your team. Now, up until this point, the business has been built mostly off of hype. Are you guys hyped up right now? Yeah! So there's nothing wrong with hype, except for when it's not backed by system. We've been building too long with hype, but no system. And so when someone's introduced to the Vemma business, and you're really hyped up and excited, you may say things to them that may not be a realistic expectation for either you or them. In other words, you might be telling someone that they can go from 0 to a 6-figure income in a year or 2 years in Vemma, where in all reality, and this isn't a bad thing, that may not be possible based on their life and their other commitments, the time that they can dedicate to this. And if you enroll them, so help them start their business off the wrong expectation, what happens when you don't hit it? When they don't hit it, rather? They get discouraged. They give up. So it's up to us to sit down with someone to figure out what they got going on in their life. Ask questions. Make it about them. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And by knowing that, you can then create a realistic expectation for what they can achieve. And they're going to come in. Their expectation may be diamond in 6 months, right? So when they don't hit their 3rd month, they don't get discouraged. They don't get upset. Versus coming in, yo, I'm going to have you in a car in a month. Where you may not even gotten in a car in a month. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But having a realistic expectation will create sustainability. Because people won't come in and become disappointed because you build strictly off of hype and not logic. You can roll them off emotion and not logic, right? So I think that that's really important, and part of that is creating a plan to fund your business in your first year. I think this is something we've never taught, and it makes sense, right? Are you going to get free products for your first year? You guys will see in the playbook. If you're not willing to commit to this business for a year, why even start? You wouldn't start any type of traditional business and not expect to be there profiting a year from that, your start date. So why would this be any different? So once you've committed to being here a year from today, how are you going to fund your business? Your business requires you to purchase product month after month. That's for a case for you to consume because you believe in the product and you back it. And if you don't, then again, why even start? A case for you to drink because you believe in the product, and a case for you to share month to month. That's perfectly reasonable. It makes sense. But how are you going to fund that? Maybe you don't need to fund it because you got free product. If that's the case, how are you going to get free product? Right? But if not, you have a part-time job that's going to cover the cost of your monthly expense for your first year. You guys are in school this semester, networking, that's awesome. But if you're not working a job, are you going to use maybe summer money that you saved up to pay for your auto delivery throughout the school so that you can sustain your business? Because at that point, when you have that figured out, when you don't have this monthly expense hanging over your head that's stressing you out, guess what? You get to build a Vemma business purely out of enjoyment. Profits are for pure enjoyment. And when you set up your business that way, that's when your intention could not be any better. And people feel that. These guys probably talked on intention earlier today. It's so important. In the beginning, we never, ever once thought about the money. Never thought about the numbers. And we were so excited, our intention to help other people was so pure that people recognized that. It was genuine. Because we hadn't worked, we weren't stressed out about money. We hadn't, ever worried about covering our monthly order. So, I think that's really, really important. Make it a goal, guys, this next month, to be building your Vemma business for pure enjoyment. Right? It wouldn't be hard to pick up a part-time job that you make, a few extra $100 a month to cover your auto delivery, your business expense. Keep in mind, any traditional business is going to cost you thousands of dollars a month. Rent, staff, insurance, right? This is 2 cases of product, one of which you drink and enjoy. So have your part-time job cover your monthly business expense and maybe, your other life expenses, so that any money you make in Vemma is just, for whatever you want to do. Just go enjoy yourself. And when people see that, you're going to be glowing. People are going to literally come to you. People gravitate toward that, positivity. Whereas if you're building a business and you're stressed out, no matter what you do, you cannot drive through a powerful message. Trust me. Right? So, in most cases, take on the business part-time so you're at least platinum exec, we feel. And this is how you relate to others. Anyone here heard of a guy by the name of Jim Rohn? Show hands. Hopefully everyone. He says something along the lines of, you're making $1,000 a month full time. No one wants to hear your story. However, you're making $1,000 a month part time. Everybody wants to hear your story. Right? It's relatability. When people see that you might have a part-time job, you're in school, you're playing a sport, and you're building your Vemma business, they can relate to that. They see some kid that just dropped out of school, quit his job, and making $200 a month. You can't relate to that. It's not appealing. No one told me to drop out of school. No one told me to walk away from my job or to take some time off of school. Looking back, had they told me that, I probably wouldn't have started. I came to that conclusion on my own because of the person who I was. Let people decide for themselves once they've come in. You've gotten them started off emotion. People make decisions based off emotion, but you've locked them in based off of logic. That's what happened to me. That's what Lucas helped me do. He helped me form my own opinion. Right? And there was a realistic expectation for what I was going to go out and do. So relatability, I think, is really big, guys. This is a 3 to 5 year plan. Anyone in the business been involved longer than 3 to 5 years? Brad? That caught me off guard. I was expecting no hands. One person out of 1,100. So some of you guys maybe 3 to 5 months. Some of you maybe 3 to 5 days. This is a 3 to 5 year plan. You got, people that have been involved for a few months, maybe even a year and a half. You look at someone that's making 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, 6, 7 figures a month, sometimes. They've been involved for, I think, Brad, 8 years now? 8 years. Holton Bugs, a lot of you may know that name. Big mentor of mine. 20 plus years in the industry. These people have been involved 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years in network marketing. And in most cases, they didn't just dive right in. Now, am I saying just come in and go slow? Not at all. Like Luke said, come in with the same tenacity and hype and excitement that you would. But if you're building the business an hour or two a day, instead of trying to occupy yourself for 10 hours a day, bring that commitment into those few hours that you know you can dedicate to the business because you have other commitments. And guess what? You're going to work smarter. You're going to work more effectively. I promise. When you know, I have these 2 hours to allot to my business today. Schedule for that. Fill your schedule. Obviously, put your schedule in harmony with what you want your results to be, back to the expectation, right? But all top earners in network marketing, guys, they were simply consistent for longer. That is the only difference. They didn't give up or quit in their second month. I could never stop buying Vemma's products. They're that good, right? If anything, I'd buy a case a month. You gotta believe in the product. First off. So, they're consistently networking and sharing the products and plan all the time. And this is another thing, right? Don't go out to cold market. I stole this from Angie Yeager, who may have taken it from someone else. But go out, cold market while you're out. What's that mean? Go out and do your daily thing. Go through your daily routine with the intention to make friends, to meet people. There's kids on the college campus that are running around with verb cans trying to shove it in someone's random face. That doesn't work. Be patient. Take some time. Build a real relationship with this person. Right? Go out and meet someone. And maybe a week, 2 weeks later, you've met them in the gym. Identify them as someone that may either A, enjoy the product, or B, can excel at the business. Maybe they're a winner in the gym, and you think that they bring that same commitment toward building a business they really excel. And that's when you want to bring it up. Hey, by the way, now that we've become good friends, there's something else to do. They'll listen. right? Just be consistently networking, guys. And if you're out there just meeting people, guess what? You know, the next guy you meet and sit down with, you really won't care whether or not they start. And if that is how it is, then they'll see that. They'll see you don't need them. So guess what happens? They feel as if they need you, right? Whereas if you're like out and you're like a headhunter or like firm salesman or just looking for people to get involved, you're gonna be like so anxious and like, just you sit down and like, when am I gonna get another person? When am I gonna sit down with another person? And so the intention again, it's not right. And people sense that like a dog senses fear. We've talked about that, right? So the intention, your belief has got to be there. I could tell Luke was going to make a lot of money in this with or without me. And guess what? That drew me in. So when you're consistently out there sharing the products you plan because you believe in them, and you know that at any point in time, this could absolutely change someone's life, it doesn't matter how long anyone in here has been involved. It's completely irrelevant. If you let that bother you, you'll never win. But if you just remember that today's a new day, and in any second I could meet someone whose life could change tomorrow because of this, you'll win. Okay guys, so in closing, between creating more stability in your life and implementing a solid system, your business will grow. Now, that's a typo, might be slower. I should have taken that out. Doesn't have to be slower. But it will be steady and it will heavily reduce attrition. When the expectation's right, here's what I mean by slower. Don't interpret that the wrong way. I'd rather go 0 to 80 cycles in 6 months, right? And do 85 the next month and be growing versus 0 to 100 in 6 months and fall back to 50 the next month. Does that make sense? Yeah. So go as fast as you can, but at a pace that's manageable for you. Go at the fastest manageable pace there is for you. That's a good thing to write down. Everyone is different. Don't enroll 10 people and then not have time to quick start them, get them started correctly. If you do have that time to commit, then do that. Move as fast as you can. That's what we did without knowing it. So with that, guys, I'm fired up. I want to introduce to you guys someone that, you guys ever heard of the Alcazin? Maybe once in your day. He's someone that, fortunate for me, I got to meet pretty early on. A lot like Luke, just helped me raise my belief. Without him, like Luke said, without his wealth of wisdom and knowledge, we'd be nowhere. We didn't know where to start. He gave us just enough guidance and just enough direction for us to bite on and for us to want to go out there and make it happen. There wasn't a doubt in our mind, thanks to this guy, that we could make this work, guys. So, without further ado, let's all give